146 on the stock now. After this 20% lower circuit, the stock is below its IPO price.
Okay, we'll discuss that in greater details. There's also a JM Financial downgrade on Fusion Microfinance, and I think for them the credit cost ballooned up to 11%, much higher than the 3% guidance that they had laid out for the full year. But again, we'll discuss the stock in greater detail. For now, let's invite Unmesh Sharma from HDFC Securities on the show now to discuss the way forward. Unmesh, it's been all over the place. It's all happening this week, right? First, the slam dunk on Monday, then the tentative pullback yesterday, and today you are seeing some bit of green holding on to our markets. What's been the conversation with you and your clients? What are you telling them?
So, look, the markets were in a valuation range, which we all knew that, at some point in time, there is going to be some kind of action against this. When, 1 out of 10 stocks is trading at 100 times earnings, this is the type of thing which happens. Having said that, look, how do we play this, right? What we do know is in the very short term, which is like today, what we are waiting for, which is to see what happens with the European markets. And we know in the long term, the numbers are fine, and that if you see even earnings season is coming through, it's kind of stable, so you know who is performing, who's not performing. The problem is actually in the intermediate term, and which is where the question is as to what is the surprise that can hit the markets. Honestly, and it's not even the US elections or something. I think the question that everyone is asking is where will the estimates for the rates settle, and which is really what has led to violent moves in the market. And it feels like, slowly there is some, there was probably a little bit too much panic in the last couple of days, because at one point in time, the CME Fed Watch was saying that there is going to be a 50 bip rate cut in September. There was also probability being built about the fact that there would be an emergency meeting of the Fed and a rate cut would happen. I don't think that either of these are going to play out. So I think settle what will happen is that volatility will come down. But at the same point in time, given where valuations are, we could see a sustained period of time where the markets may actually do nothing.
A sustained period of time where the markets would do nothing. Do you believe, Unmesh, that this cautious stance that the market is taking is also because of the RBI policy that is in line tomorrow, because of what the MPC is likely to say? Now, until last week, it was most probably a status quo policy, but considering the turn of events that you've had over the last 4 or 5 days, the street is also on the edge as to what the MPC would have to say with regards to its stance and all that. Would you believe that this cautious stance is also because of this, and it might eventually catch up with the valuations as well?
Yeah, so, partly true. I think what is happening is that, okay, so the market kind of, once the broader market expectations on the Fed became that, there's going to be a 50 bp rate cut, obviously, one of the things which started to come about is whether whether RBI will preempt all this and do something similar. See, our strong view is that is not going to happen. Because one is that they will not preempt what, try to second guess what the Fed is going to do. The second is that the scale of the problem in the US is very different from what it is in India. So, we continue to believe that status quo is the main, remains the stance. The only nuance that our economists have added is the fact that there is a possibility that instead of withdrawal of accommodation, that we might move to a neutral stance on the liquidity front. Now, that cannot be seen as a negative. So if you put that into context, what will happen is that the RBI policy is unlikely to scare anyone. What may happen, however, is that the statement, and especially when the MPC minutes come out, there would be statements made that they are closely watching what's happening in the United States and global markets. And that could concern a few people. But broadly, I don't think that, yes, there could have been panic because of that, but I'm not expecting anything to move on that front at all.
Okay. Based on the earnings season so far, have you made any changes to your model portfolio?
So about 140 of the stocks under our coverage out of 230 odd I've reported. So far, see, we don't make changes to model portfolio basis, only half the data. What has happened, however, is that earnings broadly, if you take a cumulative of all this, it's obviously, we'll see how things play out later, but as of right now have missed by around 1%. And there has been very small marginal 0.5% to 1% kind of cut if you look at it on aggregate. But what has stood out very clearly is that auto is driven by Tata Motors to a large extent. Pharma has done well. Large banks have done okay. Insurance companies have done okay. If you look at earnings, generally there have been not too many positive or negative surprises, but on aggregate, it's been muted, So what is happening is that if you net off oil and gas, because there's been a fall there because of oil prices, but if you net that off, we are in the low teens as far as earnings growth is concerned. That's what we expect for the rest of the year, adjusted for oil and gas. And I think on that, if you look at where valuations are, broadly not expecting anything very exciting to come out of the earnings season going forward as well. So we'll wait and watch before we look at our portfolio again.
So no stock-specific changes so far?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
We will do that, accumulated once we have all the evidence in place, which is likely to be, once the earnings season is over.
Sure.
Would you do some tinkering with the banks in your portfolio, Unmesh? Because you mentioned banks have done okay this quarter, but then of course there are these concerns of slowing deposit growths, of deposits getting withdrawn from the banks, and adding to that is the pain in the rural economy. You've seen a lot of microfinance companies reporting stress in their portfolio. Does this entire BFSI segment now warrant a lot more caution, particularly because it has been an underperformer to begin with? The Nifty Bank has not done it, has been underperforming the index even on its run towards 25,000. So what do you do with these large private banks, or even PSU banks for that matter, and couple that your views with the MFI space as well?
Yeah, so look, our stance on this one for a few months has been now, not necessarily everything has played out, and maybe now it will, is that, the valuation comfort on the large banks was better. The concerns on the concerns on the deposit side were there. We had thought that there would be some correction in that. That has not happened as yet. But at the same point in time, there is one thing that we need to really watch closely, is that other than the warning that was given by the Reserve Bank governor on, unsecured credit and whatever we are seeing in the rural, there has been actually, we are at the peak of the rate cycle, and honestly, nothing has really blown up, touch wood. So if you look at it from that perspective, going forward, while for 6 months we've had this stance, and that may not have played out exactly, but broadly where we are positioned right now is that, that we do not expect things to get worse on the rural, given, how the monsoon is progressing. Of course, there are pockets which are not good, but broadly, given how the monsoon is and, the focus of the government on supporting bottom of the pyramid consumption. And on top of that, the large banks still provide comfort. And, we continue to remain positive on the strong deposit franchises. So if you look at our model portfolio, things like large banks like ICICI, Axis, and on the PSUs, SBI, and, in the rural, we have ours in there. So it may not have played out beautifully so far, but I think that is not something that needs to change now, because the core assumptions remain in place. So that's where we are.
Unmesh, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We need to get into a short break. We'll come back and talk commodities with Manisha Gupta. Stay tuned.